Hey guys, okay. Right, I'm going to do a little video now on explaining garden design, how much it costs, how much does a garden cost. We don't know how much it costs. These are all questions that people or clients, or when they inquire, ask me. The big one is we don't know how much a garden costs, so I'm going to explain that. Um, so there's two different types of pricing for a garden to keep it very basic. The first price is if you know what you want, what you want in a garden, and that is if you want, say, a patio, and you know exactly what the measurements are. You know roughly what product you want, whether it be stone or porcelain or whatever. And it's just length times width times whatever the contractor charges then per square meter, and then if there's any extras like edging or there's manhole covers or there's drainage, anything like that. And it can differentiate. Is that the word? Oh, some to certain degrees. It depends on how much guys cost. I charge slightly the top end because I think my work's good, so I charge what I charge. There's always people that will undercut me. So when it comes to just having a patio done, excuse me, I tend not to price them too much because the competition's massive, and if people just see what they see on a finished product, as in like they can see paving down, on my jobs. A patio's a patio, is what they're concerned, for what they're concerned. So yeah, then the price is just whoever they choose, and that's that. Garden design is different. So, and then it's the big question of like, how much does a garden cost? We don't know how much it costs. So the easiest answer, the way to put it is, it's how much you have allocated towards the job. There's no set price for garden design or building the design garden. So for me personally, I don't charge for garden design. I look at it as something I can offer for free. I can do a little SketchUp, like a pencil and paper, very basic, and I can draw you a plan view, and I can back up everything I do on the plan, and I can 100%. I've got to be 100% confident that I can guarantee what I'm building, what I'm proposing is what I can build. A lot of guys use these CAD drawings, I think they're called. They use like shite on technology, Chat GPT QRS or whatever it is. I don't know. Never used it. And people will show me things that they put it into the computer, and the computer's showing this image. Now that's all great. It looks pretty. I had one early on this year, and they showed me the front of the garden, and the stone wall comes across. It all looked great. When I got there, the stone wall wouldn't go across. It goes around the side, and it doesn't do measurements. So it can give you an idea, and then everyone can turn into a garden designer, just like everyone can turn into a photographer, because we've all got cameras on our phones now. But you've got to be able to build what you're proposing. So that's where a proper garden designer comes in, because they can back things up. Some people are just garden designers, and then they get a contractor in a landscape company in to build their design, and it's very specific to that picture, and then the garden designer will basically come in and overlook the job, and basically take the glory at the end. They put their name to the job, which is fine. And then they put the plants in, and yeah, that's fine. So what I do, I design and I build. I think it's a little bit of a rarity nowadays, because a lot of guys will say design and build, and they're basically just putting a patio in, or they might choose the edgings or something. A lot of the design element then is up to the customer to say, well, we like this, we don't like that, or but I'll navigate my way through a garden, and I'll propose in a garden and put my hand down here because there's a pad here. I'll show you this in a sec. But I can navigate my way through a garden and a design before I build it, and I can say this is going to look pretty much something like this. So, but with my designs, because it's a free design and I give that away as part of the service, it's based on your budget and what you want to spend. Now, I am guilty of asking a client what they want to spend before when the consultation's on, and the big question comes back is, we don't know what our budget is. We don't know how much it's going to cost. Happens a lot. I've lost count of the amount of times that's happened. And then when you're in somebody's house, it's obviously very awkward, and you try and explain it best. And what you don't want to do is, what I'd like to do is say, well, we'll have a look at your bank balance. How much of that do you want to allocate? And you know, can't do that. You know, so it's yes, the things that you have to still be polite, and you know, I get all that. So. It's very awkward, and obviously I'll try and do the consultation a little bit online when they inquire, so you have a bit of an idea before you go round of what you're dealing with. It's very hard to ask online to say, well, how much do you want to spend? Because I know the answer's going to come back, we don't know. So you've got to take a little bit of a chance of when you go round and just explain things. So the big question is, how much does it cost? It costs however much you have in your bank, or how much you want to allocate, how much you want to borrow, how much you can afford. There's no set price for starting price, but for me, should we say, that's difficult. I mean, I can design a border for a cheaper price than this, but a full garden, maybe around the 10 mark, maybe around the 10 grand mark, I don't know. But again, it's very difficult. What people have to spend, what they have an idea of what they want, and what I can do for that amount of budget then, sorry, just eating again, is what I can offer. So generally how it works is, say for argument's sake, somebody's got, I ask them how much they want to spend on the garden, and they'll say we have 20 grand for argument's sake, and throw 20 grand around like it's confetti now, but it's a lot of money. And people will say, well, it's a lot of money for a garden. I get that. But the way to look at it is, it's the biggest room in your house. It's the biggest room you own. It's bigger than your kitchen. It's miles bigger than your bathroom. It's bigger than your living room. Obviously, if you've got a little yard or something, there are exceptions. But generally, it's 2 or 3, 4 times size of the kitchen or the bathroom, all the rest of it. And it's often given the smallest budget. Maybe down to programs like Ground Force for years ago, and it was like £2,000, and all materials and all labour was free, and it was just ridiculous, and the garden would fall apart within like 6 months. But so people have sort of been brought up on this, and it's like cheaper the better, just cheap, as cheap as you can do. It's down to your budget. If you've got a fantastic budget, you'll get a fantastic garden. If you've got a small budget, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. And then you're into tweaking the garden you've got. Get a lot of inquiries at the moment. Can we regrout the patio? Can we jet wash it? Prune a few bits back? That's general garden, really, just a little bit of maintenance. But for an actual full out and out garden design, you're looking at 10 grand plus easily. And then it can go up to any figure. So if you ask for an inquiry, a consultation, those type of things, I'll do a consultation for free. A lot of guys charge. Most guys charge for design. I say I don't, because I don't provide CAD drawings or anything. I don't think what I offer. I can charge my time, but it's quite competitive. So I'll just knock up a sketch now and then. I tell people that the best part about it happens on site. The magic is the garden. The design is just, a picture. It's a computer image of what you could have, and if you've not got the money to pay for it, you ain't having it. So it's, to put it bluntly, I've tried to, over the years, to type this into my Facebook page, and it ends up like a big, huge fucking blog, and I think nobody's reading that. It felt good to type it, but nobody's reading it. So I think with the video, if you want to watch this, it'll give you an explanation on garden design and how much it costs. So basically what I do then is say for argument's sake you have 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand, I'll just say, well, for that, I'll produce this. And I'll draw you a quick SketchUp, and it'll be roughly what's going to go in there, and I'll itemize things as they're going in on like the what's going where and stuff like that, and I can back it up with everything that I've built before. And then you can say yes or no. It's as simple as that. If you like the design and you like the proposed idea, you can afford it because it's within your budget, you say yes. Or if you like me, you say yes. If you don't like me, you don't like the design, it's not really in your budget, you didn't want to spend that much originally, you say no. No money's been exchanged, and then we just go separate ways, and it's just a polite thanks very much, and I'll leave you to it. Okay, so it's nice and simple. It's not the case of you tell me your budget and then that money is transferred into my account instantly, and then I run away and you never be seen again. It's not like that. I never understand the confusion of when you ask for a budget. I've seen people sort of going all giddy and looking at each other and like they start panicking, like, well, I don't get it, because obviously you shouldn't be embarrassed about money or how much you've got to spend. It's if you're asking somebody round to your house, that question should be quite standard. You're asking them round, you followed their work, you like what they do, and then if they ask you, whoever your chosen landscaper might be, but then if he asks you the budget and you don't want to answer that, that's crazy, because you're not helping that person that you brought round. So like I say, I've made the mistake in the past of right, I'm here now, I'll draw you something up and I'll doodle it up, present them with the design, and they said, oh, we like that, how much is it going to cost? And I'll say X amount, say 20 grand, we only wanted to spend 5. I've had that so many times, and it's infuriating. I can't tell you how infuriating. I won't be the only landscaper who says this. It's infuriating, I can tell you, because like, you should have told me that in the first place. And it's like a waste of my time, then it's a waste of your time. It's like, I've said it a few times in consultations, it's a bit like bullseye, look what you could have won. So just be open, just tell your budget. And like I say, that you're not gaining anything by saying, well, my maximum budget is I'll just keep it to the 10 grand mark, because if I say 10, he'll just go to 10, of course, because that's your budget. But if you've got 20 and you're saying 10, it just means you're not getting a 20 grand garden, you're getting a 10 grand garden. So you can allow a few grand for plants, or a bit of money for electrics, that type of thing. If you want lighting, that's all fine. There are a couple of things I don't price for, is plants and lighting, but that's like an extra. But for the actual design, the bigger the budget, the better the garden. The more work goes into it, the more time I can be there on site, building all these intricate little stone pieces and stuff like that. You just get a fabulous garden. So that's basically how it works. Design, what do I do? Let me spin this around. Now, to the CAD guys out there, or the ones who do 3D drawings, this will look absolute dog shit. But, I'm going to explain. Now, this is free. I don't charge for this. So that's that garden there. I know you'll see this on my page, so it's not, there we go. I know there's guys out there who'll ridicule this or something, but like I say, it doesn't bother me in the slightest, because this is how I work. I can back everything up with a sketch. It's free. And I know there's ways of doing this. Let me flip this around. So I know there's ways of doing this where you can talk and then do this with your finger and then a picture comes up. I'm quite new to this technology. I'm a bit old school really, so I'm getting to grips with how it works. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. if someone wants to tell me, that's fine, but like I say, I don't know how to do it. But so you'll have to just sort of bear with a little bit. So let's flip this around. So this is a garden I did last year, and this bit here is the patio, and I'll explain to the customer. This bit here that is the house. There's a step up here, which I put here, step up, and that's that bit there. You can see a step up there. Now on the drawing, there's going to be very minimal plants in this, so there's going to be a path here, and a path here, a lawn in the middle, and then the customer, Marie, she's very, very specific about this area that I built some 10 years ago for a client, and she wanted that at the back of the garden. Now the garden was all overgrown, and but she was very specific. She wanted that, so the work that I've done in the past, or it evolves. Everything evolves, and your ideas change, and what you like building at one time, you tweak over the years, and you want to improve your skills, and you want to basically, every garden you want to build is better than the last one. Or what I do, I take elements of the last garden I built, or gardens that I built, and I'll bring it onto the next garden. And I thought, well, that worked. That would need tweaking a bit. I could do that better next time, and that's how I work. So that was the circle. Now all it is a circle kit. The circle kit itself, when it's flat on the ground, it's cheap. It's cheapish. It's not expensive, but to elevate it, it's very difficult. And the proposal was to sort of put it as a seat, and then there'd be a back wall here, and then just little pockets of planting maybe. I wasn't quite sure it was going to sit, and then there might be a low border here. Couldn't quite figure out the design because the garden was that overgrown. I couldn't get in to measure it or anything, so it was basically just on a bit of a whim. So that's how it looked. Let's get this on. Like I say, I'll have to put this on a. You can look on the Facebook page or whatever, but I'm a bit shy to stuff like this. So basically what happened was this path here, let's do this. This turned into a border, and then I just put a cobble edge in here. I explained to Marie that this will just be like a Photinia hedge, and it's just very, very easy to look after. There's another one symmetrical on this side, and it was just a very, very easy red hedge. Dead easy to look after. Secateurs, just tweak, that's all you need, and it'll just form a nice sort of boundary to the side gardens, which is again, it's not the best picture, but you'll have to have a look at my page. Basically here and over here is where the Photinia hedge is. The path on the design was just an Indian stone path, but I decided to turn it into a York stone path, which is here. Again, you'll have to look on the page. So I decided to curve it in, and I use York stone, cut York stone, fabulous, fabulous, fabulous product, and put some little inserts of Scottish pebbles in there. Very, very time consuming, incredibly time consuming, because you have to pick all the right pieces, and yeah, so that's that. And it just swept nicely onto the back part here. Now, if you put in let's do that. So if you put in a feature at the back of the garden, I'll always tell customers that the safe place is always by the house. I think I said this in a previous video about the man cave. The safe space is always by the house, by the kitchen. By the house. Patio is by the house, and then if you want something at the back of the garden, I'll always try and take a customer out there and say, well, you're looking back at the house then. You're often overlooked by various houses then, so you've got to have something down there to make it a focal point. If you just have a patio by the house, a path leading to the patio at the back, and all fence panels, it looks shit. And it is what it is, and if somebody wants that, if that's their sort of design element, or that's where their budget stretches, it's nothing. It's just like you're sitting. If you can see the patio from the back and it doesn't look appealing, you're not going to want to sit down there, unless I don't know. Prove me wrong. I suppose there's always a a different side to it. But for me, you're not going to sit down there as often as what you think you will do. But for this particular design, to have it at the back of the garden, it's very, very particular. It's very, very niche. So the idea just evolved, and like I say, it's just from this low planter here, decided to take it right the way across. Can't really see that too well, but take it right the way across. And then the wall here went across here, and it basically just made a border going round with a high wall going round as well as a bit of a backdrop. And then between myself and Peter the electrician, we came up with some really, really nice ideas to build some little tiny rooms. I do candle rooms a lot, but this was a little bit special. Within the design, there's another one just there. I can see that in a better picture. There we go. So each one of these little rooms has got a back. It's not the fence. It's the stone wall behind, and it's a block wall, but it's this stone wall. So that's visually what you can see. And you can put like little candles in there as such, or you can put like little ornaments. And Marie's got like a bonsai tree in there now, which is fabulous. And then it came to the lighting. Paid a little bit extra for the lighting. She did. Lighting under strip, very difficult to do. Lights within the rooms, lights on the fences, just a fabulous, fabulous garden. And that just came from that sketch. Now, obviously, there's an element of trust in that. There has to be an element of trust, because if I draw that and I've nothing to back it up with, someone's look at that and thinking, well, you're taking the piss here a bit. You're obviously someone who doesn't know what they're doing, because we've seen CAD drawings, we've seen 3D images, we've seen this and we've seen that. And the point is that if you like what I do, and I'm proposing, I can back that up, and I've been going for 20 plus years, I'm not going anywhere. So I want my gardens to look incredible. I want you to love your garden when I finished. I want it to be the pride and joy of your house. I'll try and show you one more very quickly. So that's the trust element in it. Now this is, I'll do one more, as I say. I don't lose too much interest here. But this is another design. House is always here. There's a step up at the side here. That was the patio. There's a raised planter here. A raised double-sided planter here. Double-sided because you can see all the way around. Both sides have to look good. A low border here. A slope down here. A lower patio here. And now all this is low border with a new fence. And that is how it looked. Planter. There we go. There we go. Planter, low border at the back, patio, there's a slope down there, and again, it's a stunning garden. It looks fabulous. They went for the lights, the extra plants, and it's fabulous garden. But again, that came from, where are we? There we go. That just comes from a sketch design. And it's not to scale. I keep all the measurements, and then I'll just tweak on site. I'll make it fit, excavate the garden out, mark it all down, or mark it down first, excavate the garden, and then you have a little bit of time so you can say yay or nay, and any little bits that you want changing before everything gets poured, concrete and all the paving goes in. Yeah, there's a structure, there's a formula to it. So it's not just, again, going back to the original thing of the price of the budget, all the rest of it. Once on site, once you've said yes, there's a formula, and it's done all very professionally, and it's it's all with your best interest and giving you the most fabulous garden. So that's basically it. So for myself, on design, I've touched on this on a few previous videos. the porcelain, artificial grass, sleepers, I don't do. It's not for me. I don't like it. It's if you want minimal, low maintenance, barely no maintenance. I think really now it's not for me. It's not really a garden. It's an outside space, but it's not what I class as a garden, I suppose. But so I won't build those type of gardens. The market's saturated with guys like that who do that type of thing. The garden design is kind of where I come in, and that's basically what I do. So that's basically all I can say. Is when you choose a garden designer or a contractor, have a budget in mind, and don't think of it as like obviously whatever money you've got is what you've got. That's your business. But the bigger the budget. There we go. Keep this thing straight. The bigger the budget, the better the garden. If you're in a position where you've got a good few quid to spend on the garden, fabulous. I've priced a few jobs over the past whatever it's been time, and some people will have a value what they want to put on a garden because they think, well, we only use it a couple of times a year, so it's not worth spending on it. They might not like the garden, but they don't value it as an asset. But they want something nice doing to it. They like the gardens that we see, and they want something doing to it, but they don't value it enough to put a price on it, a high budget on it. So that's happened a few times where you'll go and I've made the mistake of pricing a job without asking for the budget, and I'll tell them a price, and they'll say, well, we only want to spend £5,000, say. I say only, it's just a lot of money, but for a garden, no, it's not. It doesn't get you anything nowadays. And that's a little bit frustrating then, because it's if that's what you've got, that's what you've got. But if you're valuing it at a lower price because you don't want to spend that on the garden, that's the grey area. And now I tell customers this when they get a garden done: you will only appreciate your garden, your new garden, when you have a fabulous garden, and then you'll use it all year round. And then you'll put the lights on and you'll see it all year round. You might not be in the garden like having a barbecue all the time, or you might not be entertaining friends, or whatever you're doing, sitting out in the garden, but you're subconsciously using the garden. You see it every day, and like I say, if it looks nice, even in the winter time, if it looks nice, you'll want to go out there. When it comes to springtime, you're itching to get out there. You want to put plants out there, you want to put pots out there, you want to plant, put pictures on the fence or something, or little ornaments on the fence or something. So it's just that, it's just the excitement of, it rains a lot in this country, but when it's not, there's a massive period from March through to October where it's beautiful. The weather's fabulous, and if you have a nice garden all year round and it's been landscaped, professionally done, it's there for you all the time. So it might be a Wednesday, it might be a Saturday, it might be a Sunday, Monday, any day. If it's lovely on that evening when you come home from work, you're more inclined to go out in there if you've got a really nice garden. If your garden looks crap and you come home from work, you'll watch telly, or you won't think about the garden. You'll just think about the jobs that need doing. That's the beauty of having a landscape garden. That's where it becomes. That's when you appreciate the value of it. And one last thing I'll say, I can talk for England, sorry. I'm quite passionate about gardens, so but one last thing I will say, when you tell, like I say, I can do this on my YouTube channel now, because I can have a little rant, I suppose, but don't take it personally. But sometimes when you tell people how much a garden costs, they go, "Oh, okay, now how much for a garden?" It's like 15 grand, 20 grand for a garden, and it drives me insane a little bit, that does, because it's an investment on your property. It'll add value to your property. You get years of enjoyment out of it. You can spend 4 or 5 grand easy now on a holiday. That lasts for 2 weeks. So you think, obviously holidays are great. Don't get me wrong, I love going on holiday, but the garden will be there for all year round, and that's the, you know, we've had so many years of enjoyment in our garden, and we have it on a, you know, weekly, daily basis, and I love our garden. I absolutely love it. It's not perfect, like I've explained in my other videos. It's not perfect in the slightest, but it suits us down to a T, and we get a maximum value enjoyment out of it on a daily basis. So whether it just be the birds, wildlife, dogs, socialising, anything, or just coming out into the room, it suits us down to a T, and we love it. So yeah, that's the comparison. Or you can spend 20 grand on a kitchen, and you allocate the, you know, the budget for a garden is in 4 grand, 5 grand. You know, labour's the same whether you're a gardener, you know, a landscaper or a builder or a engineer, scaffolder, anything. Labour is roughly the same now for all trades. There's no different. So materials are what they are. There's no cheap gardens, unfortunately. There just isn't. It's a cheap garden. It's normally a botch job. So, but yeah. So that's one thing I wanted to say on that. Right. So yeah, I'll post this up, and then if you want to leave any comments, I'm more than happy to do that. I'm more than happy to chat to people. And if you've got an inquiry, yeah, we'll have a chat. Have a good look through my Facebook page. Have a look through my work, and hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight then into what I do. The only thing I will say, one last thing. Most of my work is reclamation work. It's not off the shelf stuff. You can't go into Jewson's or B&Q or Hughes Gray or something like that and get the walling products that I do. The little niche features, they're not off the shelf materials, so that's why there's a bit of a premium for things like that, and it's time consuming. The Indian stone is obviously off the shelf, but the York stone, it's all reclaimed materials, so it's a lot of logistics involved, so there's a premium in that, but you, like I say, you have something unique. So yeah. Right, I'll leave you guys to it. I say have a good day, and we'll see you next time for a video.